accomplished the first 100 kilometers. We have now reached 150 kilometers. Now done the first 200 kilometers. Hello everybody, how are you doing? Today we are sitting in the new Mercedes EQS, which is probably known as one of the best electric cars currently out there on the market, specifically because it has super luxurious interior. It has a lot of, let's say, technology stuff on board, has a very big battery of above 100 kilowatt hour capacity, and has a very efficient and aerodynamic design. And today we of course want to do similar or more or less same as with the BMW iX, iX50 in that case. We want to do that fast Autobahn range test, which does not mean that we're doing super high speeds and always driving top speed, but which means that we will drive the electric car like we need it to, like we do long road trips usually with 160 kilometers on cruise control once it's empty on the Autobahn. We start usually and try to start, it's the same with here, at about 96 or 97% of battery capacity, which of course will drop in the course that we're driving on the Autobahn. And we will see how far we get with that 96 capacity when we need to recharge, and specifically of course which average speed we have reached then. And in the end of course also how fast the car is able to charge once we hook it up to one of those very powerful Ionity chargers. The surroundings are, I would say, pretty similar to the BMW iX, maybe a bit better. We have outside temperature of 5 degrees outside, so it's not particularly warm, but it's also not freezing. So it's like a normal winter day. We have a bit of rain, but maybe compared to the test as we drove the BMW, the conditions are a bit better here. We definitely have to say that, because with the BMW iX we had a lot of strong wind, rain in the air. As it looks right now, it's a bit better today with the Mercedes. The car is not being preheated or something like that. I had not hooked it up to the wall box, same as with the BMW. So it's just sitting at the side of the road at 5 degrees outside temperature. We jump in and, let's say, get onto the road, which I think is a very realistic scenario because not everybody has a wall box at home. And that means, of course, it might take some time until the car is, let's say, heated and also the battery gets to the best temperature. What I will do once is, in every test, at least reach top speed once. That's actually something which I, if I'm doing a road trip, always do, or try to do at least, to have some fun. And that is also part of our fast Autobahn range and consumption test. Electronically limited to 210. We have done now the first 70 kilometers. Average consumption is around 33 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers. But I have to admit that at least for those first 70 kilometers we had some spirited driving, with I think 3 or 4 times going from 100 to 200, also for another video. So that of course has a negative effect. Considering that driving, I think the 32.9 that we see currently here is still quite okay, honestly. And we have wind coming from that direction, so in this direction here, in our direction. Again, not ideal at 5.5 degrees outside temperature, but of course electric cars also need to be driven like we need it to, and we will see in the end how everything turns out. We now accomplished the first 100 kilometers with the first charged battery. Remember, we started at something like 97%, we now have 66%. So a bit more than 30% of charge for the first 100 kilometers. With spirited driving, with a lot of wind, 160 all the time on cruise control mostly. And you can also see the consumption. We have around 33 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers consumption, which I would say is similar to what we had with the BMW iX at this point. So I would say they're not too far away from each other. Yeah, maybe a bit more spirited driving with the EQS than with the iX up to this point. But other than that, yeah, seems to be like if you're driving such a big electric car at the speeds above 160 kilometers, even the most efficient versions of BMW and Mercedes, you're probably reaching above 30 kilowatt-hour consumption. That seems to be pretty comparable and reliable already, that observation. We have now reached 150 kilometers with the first charge, and the battery is down to about 50%, pretty much exactly 50%, doing constant speed as soon as possible of 160 kilometers still. Average speed has gone up to 110, so that's, I would say that's already pretty high average speed for electric car driving on average, remember that. And yeah, let's see, probably in the next 150 kilometers or 100 kilometers we will also look for a quick charger to just do a short but very quick charge to get to our final destination, which is then I think 350, something like that, almost 400 kilometers in total. Yeah, so we have now done the first 200 kilometers. Average consumption is, as you can see, at around I have to get off the Autobahn actually here, at around 33, still a bit more. Average speed is now at 115, and I have locked in an Ionity charger which is within the next 35 kilometers. So we will have around 230 kilometers when we charge the car. The car will not be empty. There is a quarter still in the battery, so we could do probably, I don't know, maybe even another 100 kilometers if we drive a bit carefully. Wonderful evening light, and of course also wonderful ambient lighting which came up in the EQS. We have now reached the stop for our charger. 230 kilometers and used up about 70% in total. So there's still something in the battery. 70% for 230 kilometers. I think with that spirited driving, 160, saying it again so many times, as well as, yeah, 3 to 4 full pull runs, I would say, is already quite good. And now, of course, I'm looking forward to the charging speed. I don't know why it's only telling me 225 kilowatt at the Ionity charger. Usually that is 350 on the map. I'm not sure why it's telling me 225, but we will find it out in just a second. I hooked it up to the Ionity charger. I found out he was showing me that charger 225 kilowatts. This one is supposedly going up to 350, at least if the car is able to do. I think we should reach something like 200. It already started charging 1 minute ago, 25% now, 190 currently. Maybe going even up to 200, seems to be. And that should be very quick. I will go inside, quickly use the toilet, restroom, get something to eat, and hopefully we'll be able to leave again in about 15 to 20 minutes. Let's check inside what the charging speed is telling us. You can easily click on this menu here. Yes, 27% is charging at almost 200 kilowatt. And of course we don't need to go to 100%, to 80%. It probably will be something like half an hour. 206 is actually the speed out here. That's nice. Yeah, so it took me a few minutes now. Yeah, already 20 minutes now, and we are back to 70%. I think that's pretty good. Still charging at 130. Let's get it hooked off here, get on the Autobahn, and I think in the end it's another example that also electric cars can work, and you don't need to stop long in order to get another, yeah, that's probably another 200 kilometers of range in 20 minutes that we have just charged in the winter time in this big old Mercedes.